from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the National News Telecast. I'm Moin Hettiaranchi, joined by Kasuni Balachandra. Today is the 23rd of January, and here are today's headlines.
The State Minister of Finance says there's no delay in payment of salaries for the state sector. Inflation decreases. Government is to control the prices of eggs and chicken. The Ministry of Education says school textbooks will be distributed as scheduled. The national television bags 31 awards at the Sumathi Tele Awards ceremony. The killer in California commits suicide.
Now on to those and more stories in detail. On today's top story, State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that salaries of public servants will be paid on the 25th of this month as scheduled.
And salaries of the executive officers will be given on the same day or a day later. He made these remarks answering the queries made by the journalists today at the Ministry of Finance. State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya said that even amidst the economic difficulties, the government has to set aside 93 billion rupees for the monthly salary of government employees. Out of the amount, 87 billion rupees have already been settled. Only 7 billion rupees more are to be allocated for the salaries of the executive officers. Non-executive staff will be paid the salary on the 25th. The rest of the money will also be sent. Officials of the executive grade will be able to draw their salary on the 26th. However, the Treasury is attempting to pay the salaries of the entire staff on the 25th itself. Government servants must understand this situation.
The Department of Census and Statistics say the inflation of last December is 59.2%. It was 65% last November. The inflation of food items was reported at 69.8% in November last year. It has decreased up to 59.3% in December. Inflation of non-food items was 60.4% last November and decreased to 59% last December. In the food sector, there is a price hike among the items such as coconut oil, eggs, chicken and red onions. The Department of Census and Statistics say that the price of big onions, dry fish, sugar, rice, wheat, flour, bread, vegetables, masoor dal and potatoes have shown a decrease during the relevant period.
Food Security Committee pointed out the need for all parties to reach a collective agreement for the advancement of the poultry and egg production industry. The matter was discussed at length during a discussion on the issues related to the chicken and egg industry chaired by Senior Advisor to the President on Food Security, Dr. Suren Batagoda, and was held at the President's Media Centre this morning. The shortage of animal feed, rising prices of raw materials, fuel crisis, transport issues, foreign exchange issues for importing animal feed and the available solutions to address these issues were focused at the discussion. Those involved in the poultry and egg production industry and officials of related line institutions participated in this meeting. The willingness to reach a collective agreement for the advancement of the poultry and egg industry was a special feature of the discussion.
The GCE A-level examinations started today. 331,709 candidates sat for the examination this year. The Department of Examinations says that exams are being conducted successfully. There are 278,196 school candidates and 53,513 private candidates. The exam commenced at 2,200 centres island-wide. A special examination centres are functioning in Boral Magazine Prison and IDH hospital premises. If there is any problem, candidates can obtain further information through the website www.doe.com. nets.lk. Special train and bus services have been arranged for the convenience of students who sit for the examination. The examination department says relevant institutions have agreed to provide uninterrupted power supply during the exam period. The GCE A-level examinations will end on the 17th of February. The examination department requests all relevant parties not to disturb the exam process. Commissioner General of Examinations Amit Jayasundara said that the exam was held very successfully today. No incident was reported from any place in the island. We have taken the utmost measures to provide good transport facilities to the candidates. Transport services were functioning at the best level in the morning. Over 8,000 observers have been deployed to look into this matter. Commissioner requests the public to inform them immediately if there is any transport problems.
Ministry of Education says school textbooks needed for this year are being printed at present. Required paper has been supplied under the Indian Loan Assistance. The first stock of printing materials have already been arrived and the State Printing Corporation is now printing the books. The procurement procedure for distribution of school textbooks have been completed at present. 75% of the textbooks are printed by the State Printing Corporation. The Minister of Education says that the cabinet approval has been granted and the rest of the 55% of books is to be printed by private sector. 22 private printers have already signed agreements in this connection. 20% of the agreed amount will be given to private partners as an advance. Several printers have already completed their task and sent the printed textbooks to the ministry.
Health staff, including medical officers of many hospitals, engaged in a protest campaign today against the shortage of drugs and several other problems. The protest has been focused on the challenges faced by hospital system in the country at present. Staff of Colombo National Hospital and a number of other hospitals in the island joined in the protest campaign. Patients in many outdoor patient departments face severe difficulties due to this matter. However, health employees demand quick solutions for the shortage of drugs and hospital staff. They also expressed their opinions for the tax hike. Secretary to the Government Medical Officers Association, Dr. Hari Talutge, said that there are a number of obstacles for the patients in obtaining treatment from the government hospitals. Specialty, there is a severe shortage in medicines in government hospitals. Some medicines are not available in private hospitals as well. Many trade unions in the health sector has expressed willingness to join the protest campaign with the Government Medical Officers Association. The national television made an inquiry from the Ministry of Finance regarding the allocation of funds to import drugs. The ministry stated that although there is a severe shortage of funds at present, measures will be taken to import essential drugs and medicine. Meanwhile, according to proposals made by President at the Cabinet meeting on the 9th of this month, a decision has been taken to slash 5% of the recurrent expenses approved by the last budget. The amount has been set aside for import of essential medicine.
A number of lawyers are accusing that the leader of National People's Power, parliamentarian Anrukumara Dissanayake, is posing threats to state officials. They made these comments in response to a statement made by the NPP leader yesterday. Parliamentarian Anrukumara Dissanayake said that if the Secretary to the Treasury does not release money, it would be a deliberate obstacle for the election. It is an offence liable for 3 years imprisonment. The letter sent by Neil Hapuhina can also be considered as a disturbance for the polls. In a government formed by the National People's Power, they will be tried and sent to jail for 3 years. President's counsel U.R. De Silva said that it is dangerous to instigate fear on the government servants by making such statements. They have committed their responsibility in expressing their views on the current economic situation. However, this is a matter to be decided by the Supreme Court.
තමන්ගේ ආර්ථික ඥානය පිළිබඳව සහ වර්තමාන තත්ත්වය ප්‍රකාශ කළා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් එය ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ අධිකරණයේ විසඳිය යුතු ප්‍රශ්නයක්. අධිකරණයට ඊටාම මම හිතන්නේ
Attorney at Law Nalin Samrakun said that a government officer has a right to do their duty. The JVP poses a severe threat to the independent rights of the government servants.
කිසිම දේශපාලන කණ්ඩායමකට මේ තමන්ගේ බලයට ආවම නැත්තම් බලයේ ඉන්න කාලය තුල මේ වගේ අධිකරණයේ තීන්දුවකට සම්බන්ධයෙන් මම හිතන්නේ අනාගතයේ අපි බලයට ආවම දඬුවම් දෙනවා දඬුවම් නොදෙනවා කියන කාරණේ කියන්න බෑ. මොකද ඒක අධිකරණ ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයේ අවසාන ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදියට වැරදිකරුවන්ට අධිකරණ විසින් තීරණය කරන ලද්දා.
Attorney at Law Manoj Gamage said that the Secretary to the Treasury has informed the Supreme Court regarding the government's monetary condition through an affidavit. In such an instance, threatening the public officials is also a threat to others as well. The national television has bagged 31 recommended awards at the Sumati Tele Award ceremony this year.
The awarding ceremony will be held in Colombo on the 9th of February. Teledramas and programs that have been aired during the 2020 and 2021 have been considered for these awards. The Sumati Tele awarding ceremony was not held for 2 consecutive years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 19 awards have been recommended for the national television for the year of 2020. 2 teledramas directed by Sumit Ratnayaka and Sudat Devapriya are among the recommended dramas. Bimal Jayakodi, who acted in Sulanga Mahameraka teledrama, is among the best actors. Michelle Dilhara of Can You Hear Me teledrama is recommended for the Best Actress Award. Tharangu Athuliya and Chandana Senviratna have been recommended for Best TV Magazine Program. Aruma Puduma Roda Hatara program has also been recommended for the awards. Manita Kunaratna's Alakama Dava is for the Best TV Documentary, and Tusita Vidana Patrinas has been recommended for the Best Children's Program Director. The national television is recommended for 12 awards at the 27th Sumati Tele awarding ceremony.
Over 700,000 individuals have obtained temporary driving license at present. Therefore, the Department of Motor Traffic has focused attention to introduce a new driving license with QR system within this year. Accordingly, motorists will be able to obtain the driving license via their smartphones without much trouble in near future. The department has started issuing permanent driving license cards to the persons who obtained temporary licenses since the 27th November last year. However, only about 30,000 to 40,000 applicants have been issued with the permanent cards. Nearly 60,000 temporary license holders are now waiting for the permanent license. Commissioner General of Motor Traffic Nishant Anuruddha Veerasinghe said that we are unable to supply the daily demand. If we fulfill the daily demand, the persons who are in the waiting list will suffer. Therefore, we are preparing a cabinet paper to purchase a very expensive new printing machine. Then the department will be able to print the entire demand of about 740,000 permanent driving license within a period of 6 months.
මේ printing machine එකක් ගොඩාක් මිල අධිකයි. ඉතින් ඒ හන්දා ඒක outsource කරන්න අපි ක්‍රමවේදයක් දැන්ට යෝජනා සකස් කරමින් යනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ machines ගොල්ලොන්ගෙන් අරගෙන RS එක විතරක් ඒගොල්ලෝ හරහා print කරන්න හදන්නේ. එතකොට අපේ normal daily capacity එක අපිට print කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මාස 6ක් වගේ කාලයක් ඇතුළත අපිට මේ ඔක්කොම ටික දීලා ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන්.
About 2,500 persons apply for driving license daily. However, the department is able to issue only 2,000 licenses a day. Commissioner General of Motor Traffic Nishant Anuruddha Veerasinghe said that 500,000 cards have been received at present. 500,000 more cards under the QR code have also been ordered, and out of the amount, 350,000 have been brought to the country. The rest will be brought next month. Once these cards are over, the department will introduce a digital license system that needs no cards. The driving license will be available in the smartphone. Talks are underway to introduce a system in future to get a print through the smartphone.
President's Counsel Riyansi Arasakularatna says that the private complaint filed before the Colombo Fort Magistrate Courts against former President Maithripala Sirisena regarding the Easter Sunday attacks can be proceeded. He made these comments when relevant case was summoned at the appeals court today. The complaint has been filed by the father Cyril Gamagini of victims of the Easter Sunday attacks at Jerusalem Nasruddin. After considering the case, the court had issued summon for the respondent Maithripala Sirisena to appear before the courts. The respondent filed a writ application requesting the court to cancel the summons, and a writ was considered at a panel of appeals court judges for the second day today. Appearing for the father Cyril Gamini, President's Counsel Arasakularatna pointed out that a magistrate can be considered a private complaint as confirmed information has been presented at courts. Former Chief of the State Intelligence Service, Nilantha Jayawardena, had informed the Commission, pointed out that investigations into the Easter Sunday attacks, that he had submitted all the information he received prior to the attacks to then President Maithripala Sirisena. The President's Council stated that although there were 3 flights from Singapore to Sri Lanka, the former President Sirisena had not paid interest to arrive in the island immediately. The Council therefore said the summons issued by the 4th Magistrate to the former President is legal. The case was postponed to 26th of this month for the hearing. The Colombo High Court today ordered a case filed against group of respondents, including Sakwati Ranasinghe, to be re-summoned for the 14th of March. The Bulgarian national and 2 Canadians who were taken into custody under the charge of stealing money from an ATM machine in Karapiti, Kadua and Baddegama areas have been remanded till the 6th of February by the Baddegama magistrate.
Lakshman Kadiragam Institute hosted the book launch on Sri Lanka-Oman relations recently. The Institute, in association with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Embassy of Oman in Colombo, hosted the relaunch of the book titled Sri Lanka-Oman Relations, Past, Present and Future. The book has been authored by former ambassador to Sri Lanka, brother of Sri Lanka to Oman, O.L. Amir Ajwad. The book, which was initially launched at the Diplomatic Academy of the Foreign Ministry of the Sultanate of Oman in Muscat, was published to mark the 40th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and the Sultanate of Oman, which was commemorated in February 2021. The book suggests a roadmap for future cooperation between Sri Lanka and Oman while tracing deep-rooted historical relations between the two countries. Minister Ali Sabri relaunched the book jointly with State Minister Tharaka Balasuriya, Foreign Secretary Aruni Vijayawardena, Ambassador of Oman to Sri Lanka Ahmad Ali Saeed Al Rashdi and the book author. Many dignitaries were present at this occasion.
The second eco-friendly goods carrier vessel manufactured by the Colombo Dockyard was launched at the Colombo Harbour today. The vessel named Miss J. Verda is owned by a Norwegian company. The 89.95 meter long vessel is 15.40 meters in width. It is 92.2 meters in height. The diesel-powered vessel has an electric hybrid system to generate extra power. The vessel, made by Sri Lankan engineers, has a high demand in the European market. The Colombo Dockyard says that it has been manufactured according to Japanese technological standard and will be sold at a price of $10 million. A discussion held today with the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena regarding the problems faced by some of the development officers.
Trade unions of some of the development officers and agrarian research officers took part in this discussion. Attention was focused on the decision of retirement age limit, allowances paid for adults and disabled persons, and several other matters at this meeting. The Prime Minister stressed the need to provide immediate solutions for the problems of these officers.
A farming community living in Retikala and surrounding areas are again under threat of wild elephants. They say the wild elephants have destroyed their crops. A herd of over 50 wild elephants from Retikala and Manakedia forest reserves used to encroach the villages in this area. The farmers say protecting their banana, coconut and maize crops is a serious problem at present. The wild elephants pose a threat to their school-going children as well. A herd of elephants has destroyed over 5 acres of maize and paddy cultivation in Moragada area last night. They accuse the authorities that have not taken any measures to solve these problems.
An Airbus carrying 403 passengers from Moscow reached the Mattala International Airport today. About 3,275 Russian tourists have come to Sri Lanka from the Mattala International Airport since last December. Meanwhile, 414 Russian tourists visiting Sri Lanka are scheduled to fly back to Moscow from the Mattala International Airport. Foreign news on the other side of this break. Welcome back, and in your foreign news tonight, a gunman who shot dead 10 people during a Lunar New Year celebration in the United States has been found dead in the van he used to flee. California law enforcement authorities found the suspect after surrounding the vehicle in the southwest of Monterey Park, where the killings took place.
Law enforcement agencies have identified the suspect as 72-year-old Hu Kan Tran and said he shot himself as the police approached the van. No other suspects were at large, and the motive remained unclear for the attack, which wounded 10 more. The mass shooting took place on Sunday at Ballroom Dance Club on Gravy Avenue on Monterey Park, a majority Asian American city in the East Los Angeles. 5 men and 5 women died at the scene, while the wounded are in a critical condition, ranging from stable to critical. Their identities have not been made public. Monterey Park is a city of about 60,000 people, and about 2/3 of residents are Asian. The city is known for many Chinese restaurants and grocery stores. The attack happened as Monterey Park was holding the first in-person celebration of the Lunar New Year.
New Zealand's incoming Prime Minister Chris Hipkins criticised the abhorrent treatment endured by Jacinda Ardern and vowed to shield his own family 3 days after her shock resignation. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced that she was quitting as the country's leader on last Thursday, citing burnout. Threats against her became more frequent in recent years and included a man claiming he had the right to shoot the Prime Minister for treason and treachery in a YouTube video. Chris Hipkins, who was speaking yesterday after MPs from his ruling Labour Party voted unanimously to endorse him, said a small minority of Kiwis were responsible for abusing the Premier and for the abhorrent treatment. Hipkins was New Zealand's COVID response minister and has extensive political experience. He is set to be sworn in as Prime Minister on Wednesday after Prime Minister Ardern formally steps down. Data released in June showed that threats against Prime Minister Ardern had almost tripled over 3 years, and local media reported that at least 8 threats against her had entered the legal system. Foreign reports have indicated that the Prime Minister Ardern would need more ongoing security and protection than any former New Zealand Prime Minister.
A river in the Balkans known for its stunning natural beauty has been transformed into a giant floating rubber heap amid a spell of bad weather worsened by the long-running mismanagement. Tons of plastic bottles, rusty barrels, used tires, household appliances, driftwood and other waste have piled up behind a barrier in Drina River in Bosnia-Herzegovina, which snakes through the forested hills. Much of the garbage was dumped in poorly regulated river slide landfills or directly into the waterways that flow across 3 countries in the Balkans, accumulating behind a fencing as it shows downstream. Heavy rains and unseasonable warm weather over the past week have caused many waterways in Bosnia, Serbia and Montenegro to overflow, flooding the nearby areas and forcing scores of people from their homes. Pakistan suffered a huge power cut early today following a breakdown of its national grid, leaving millions of people without electricity. Power was out in all countries' major general centres, including the biggest city Karachi, the capital Islamabad, as well as Lahore and Peshawar. Pakistan authorities have indicated the grid failure followed by frequency variation in southern Pakistan. They insisted the power outage was not a major crisis and power would be restored. Pakistan often suffers from power cuts which are blamed in the mismanagement and a lack of investment in infrastructure. The last major blackout in October took hours to restore. Authorities have pointed out that the demand for electricity reduces nationwide during winter than in summer when air conditioning and fans are in use.
Spectacular fireworks shows wowed residents across China, lighting up the night sky as people celebrated the dawn of the Year of the Rabbit. The Chinese New Year is the most important holiday on the Chinese lunar calendar and a grand occasion for family reunions. The celebrations, which usually last for weeks, include a wide range of folkloric activities. For many Asian cultures, the Lunar New Year is a time of auspicious celebration. And for those who follow the Chinese zodiac, yesterday signaled the end of the Year of the Tiger to usher in the Year of the Rabbit. A range of firework and fountain show wowed residents across China, lighting up the night sky on the eve of the Chinese